marriage.
All right, babe, we are ready for your next chapter in your book. You can wear flip-flops, but...
You can run in flip-flops.
That's right.
But is that the best way?
Thank you for correcting me
You
there.
also can wear flip-flops.
You can wear flip-flops, but I'm not a flip-flops person.
Okay.
But you guys are. You and Joshua and the kid, they like flip-flops.
I love
it's hard to run in them, though.
It is hard to run them. I've tried, and that's not a good idea.
So, yeah, what's this chapter?
This chapter is called Really Neutral.
Really? Neutral? Is there a comma there? Really
no,
neutral?
A question mark, because
really
are
neutral.
things really neutral? And so, like when our kids were young and we went on a kick to not eat any more trans fat. Remember those days?
No trans fat, that's right.
And so the kids were all little, but they were old enough that they could read ingredients. So we'd go to the store.
Yes.
And they would look through, everything at the time, especially crackers and cookies and things they wanted to eat.
Partially hydrogenated vegetable oil.
They did, but they would look and they'd find things that didn't have that. And they're like, oh, this doesn't have it, so it's good for you.
Yes.
And so, that was kind of, well, but that's what they thought, because it's like, okay, certain things, buzzwords that I wasn't going to buy if those cookies had trans fat or maybe high fructose corn syrup. So they'd look through and be like, oh, this one's good for you.
Right.
And so that kind of is what inspired me to write this chapter, because the thought is that some things can be just neutral. It's like, okay, it doesn't have any of the bad stuff, so therefore it's good. And I'm like, but is it really neutral? Because the problem is if you eat those cookies or crackers or whatever that don't have the buzzword bad ingredients that you won't let in your home, they still are taking the place of foods that you actually need.
Right.
So it's like, it's not, there's more reasons not to eat those cookies, even if the ingredients might be good and it's kind of neutral, like it's not really that harmful. And anyway, so that kind of is what made me just think of in life, there are things as Christians that we let in our lives that fill our time that we just call neutral. And
like what's one of those?
Like maybe certain books you read or certain movies or things that you're like, well, it's not bad, or like even a music, that you're like, well, it doesn't, if you listen to it, it doesn't have the gospel or it doesn't have Jesus. It's just a secular song, but there's nothing bad in it, And so it's like, we want to say those things are neutral, and some of those things they can be, but therefore it's harmless and it's not bad for you. And it's like, well, maybe sometimes we should think about, if we're filling our time with some, latest TV show that we're binge watching, it's like, okay, maybe it's clean and it's not, necessarily blaspheming God or something, but it also is just filling your time. And it's like,
there's a time and place for everything, right?
Yeah.
And not to say that this is bad, but could it be bad right now?
Right.
Or could it be good right now?
Right.
But it's just that, should I be doing other things? Would it be beneficial? Kind of like that verse, all things are lawful, but
exactly.
Or do all things edify, But it's like, okay, we could be doing this. There's no doubt this is fine, but is it distracting me from something else? And I know we don't want to almost put a burden, like everyone's thinking about this so much to where it's now like, oh man, it's hard enough just getting the good things in your life, and now you're questioning some of those neutral type good things. But this is just things to be aware of, right?
Right.
That everyone has to go through, and like, okay, do we really want to do this, or right now, especially, So,
yeah. Well, it's just good to every once in a while do a heart check and just realize, hey, we're here for a bigger purpose. And so let me look at my time and look at the things that I'm filling my life with, and just, evaluate and kind of ask myself, okay, wait, we are to set our affection on things above and not on things on the earth. And so we want our focus to be on Christ. And so sometimes it's good to just consider where you are and what you are filling your time with. And, for me at the time, it was what I was filling my pantry with. And it's like, okay, let me,
filling your pantry with trans fats. And
anyway, so
but at the time it was a big deal, but just because it doesn't have trans fat doesn't automatically make it healthy.
Right.
And we're seeing that today when we stick in with the food theme. There you go and you see boxes of things that say, low fat, no trans fats, no this, no that, no food. It's like, but at the end of it, what is it?
Right.
Is it real food at that point? But
yeah, pretty much.
So people are putting things on there, and we still have to be aware of what we're doing. And in the same ways, we take the time to study our food, at least a lot of people do.
Yeah.
Why don't we evaluate what we do with our life, or do we just say, kids, go play? or, especially in a husband-wife relationships, speaking of marriage. But this is more, I'm guessing it's more of just being a mom and being distracted by Facebook. Yeah. And like, you might be helping people on Facebook, but your little ones might need you more.
Yeah, exactly. So one of those, just heart check kind of things, and
sure,
see what you think God wants.
Cool deal. All right. Well, there's the book. You can run in flip-flops, but is that the best way? So go check it out. If you have it, go read along with us. All right. Thanks.